Hello, dear radio listeners and viewers joining us via the live stream or replay. I'm Shantae, also known as Life Coach 614, and I am thrilled to have each and every one of you here with us as we embark on a journey of self-care and well-being together. Now, before we dive into our main topic for today, let's just set a few ground rules for our space to ensure a positive experience for everyone. To maintain a harmonious atmosphere, we do have dedicated admins and moderators here with us to assist in the chat. Please understand that this space is all about sharing, caring, and embracing each other's unique self-care journeys. Your active participation and engagement is key to cultivating the positive energy that we value so much in this space. We kindly ask that you be mindful of your contributions, as all donations and subscriptions during our live stream directly support the Self-Care Club LLC. Your generosity creates a ripple effect of positivity within the community, enabling us to keep showing up and spreading positivity with purpose. If anyone is seeking any additional information about the Self-Care Club or to book your personalized one-on-one life coaching session with me, please visit theselfcareclub.org for more details. Now, let's pledge to make this community a beacon of positivity and support for everyone. If you are ready to embark on a new self-care journey, please flood the chat with some green hearts for me. Rich Risings KB, welcome in. Thank you. I see you. Also today it looks like we have Rose, Miss Whitney, Michaela, Dragon, I see you. Boss Lady, I see you. Gino, welcome in. Thank you guys. So this month, we have been exploring the topic of one love. And when we think of one love, we have been thinking of it as it pertains to self-love, right? The love that we have for ourselves. We've also taken it out to the community to now start to explore the love that we have for others. And so with our topic today being, again, right on target, I thought it was best that we talk about finding balance. Learning to juggle our self-care and the care that we give to others. And so today, with this particular topic, I know that this is something that touches each and every one of us because we are all, constantly struggling to provide the care that we need for ourselves, as well as still showing up and being what we need to be for the other people within our, people in our lives. And so we're always trying to find balance. We're trying to, juggle what they need versus what we need. And so, we've got to understand that this balance is not merely just a personal endeavor, right? It's a crucial aspect for us to maintain healthy relationships with our loved ones and to continue to prosper within our communities that we're working so hard to build. So with that being said, self-care is imperative, right? And I know that self-care is often perceived as a luxury. It's something that we do when we have time or when we can afford to do so. Something that we only attend if we have leftover time after fulfilling the obligations of everyone else. We tend not to show up for ourselves until we're done showing up for everyone else. And we've got to shift our mindset to understand that self-care is not a luxury. Self-care is an absolute necessity. It is something, that they call like the bedrock upon what we're building. It's the foundation of what it is that we're building. And it's our ability to function effectively and to adequately care for others, to care for our loved ones. Without self-care, we are at risk for burnout, chronic stress, and physical health issues such as like the anxiety, the depression, heart disease, and all of these things start to diminish our ability to care for those around us. So you know, when we think of self-care, we've got to consider it as the what would I say? It's the glue that, you know, kind of holds things together for us. And I know you guys are familiar with, you know, the principle about the oxygen mask on an airplane. You know, for anyone who's ever taken a flight before, you're aware that before this plane even takes off, before this plane leaves the runway, they give you a specific set of instructions. You know, that in the event that this plane is going down, we are instructed to secure our own mask before we move about to assist others. And, you know, some people are like, well, that's selfish. You know, my family's next to me, my children, my spouse, my partner, my siblings, my parents, whatever, right? But we can't show up for someone else if we don't first, you know, put the mask on ourselves first, right? Like we always say, you can't pour from an empty cup. So we've got to get ourselves to be able to understand that this is not an act of selfishness, but it's an act of survival. And we cannot offer effective help to other people if we are struggling to breathe ourselves. So when that plane is going down, if we don't secure our own mask first, how do we show up and effectively assist other people? Yeah, we might get the mask on one person, you know, but we can't, you know, be of true value and effective support if we don't first secure the mask ourselves. Thank you so much for sharing the live. Welcome NB60 Mama. How are you? So, you know, you guys, when we think about self-care, understand that it encompasses activities that nurture our physical health, such as exercise, adequate sleep. But when we think about self-care, it also has to tap into our emotional and mental well-being. And we do that through hobbies, relaxation, and just moments of introspection and reflection. You know, these mindful activities, these things that we do, you know, just to make sure that we're checking in with ourselves and we're spending time reflecting on things. So that way, we're not repeating the same mistakes, right? We're learning the lessons. We're taking the time to feel what we need to feel, learn what we need to learn. Honestly, welcome in, love. Hi, Brandon. All right, so, you know, it is a noble role to care for others. And, you know, caring for others is an intrinsic part of the human experience. It's what we do, right? When we take the time to care for others, it strengthens our bonds. Thank you. It strengthens our bonds with our family, our friends, and within the community. You know, we do things such as like acts of kindness, and we support, you know, we support others as a means of providing essential emotional sustenance and, you know, practical assistance, enriching our lives and the lives of the people that we help. However, the act of caring for others should never come at our own expense, right? The care and the love that we provide to others should never mean that we have to sacrifice our own health and our own happiness. Thank you so much for the gifts, KB. The balance between giving and maintaining our well-being is very delicate. And so we have to tread lightly when we're attempting to help others. Thank you, Whitney. You know, a lot of times we take on these roles, be it a parent, whether we are caring for, you know, our elderly parents or grandparents, you know, whether maybe our partner has fallen ill and we are now caring for them, you know, other people within the family or the community, right? And so a lot of times we then hyper focus on what they need, and we start to forget what we need. So we've got to make sure that we're being realistic and that we're being honest with ourselves, and we're not taking on too much when we're trying to help others. Thank you, Faith. Rich risings to you. So, you know, we've got to begin to first and foremost understand, yes, I want to be a resource to this person or these people, and I want to be helpful, but I have to do so in a manner that doesn't sacrifice my well-being, right? So I still need to be able to show up for me. I still need to get rest. You know, I still need to be able to be functional and productive in the things that I'm doing as I'm caring for someone else. And if I'm not able, like if I have to sacrifice everything for myself, then I'm not going to be able to consistently be that for them. Rich Risings DJ Throwback, I want to know, welcome in. So again, you know, when we think about finding balance between self-care and caring for others, you know, it's a very dynamic process that requires a conscious effort, right? We got to wake up, we got to be woke, and we got to be real with what we're doing. First Lady, welcome in, beautiful. So we've got to first wake up, you guys, and just really be honest about what the goal is here. Because the goal should never be, oh, I'm going to take care of you and I'm going to forsake everything that deals with me. Because that care that I'm going to say that I'm going to provide for you won't last long. Right? So we've got to learn how to say no when necessary. And we've got to start clearly communicating our limits respectfully. Right? We've got to begin to set boundaries, healthy boundaries with our loved ones and with our friends. You know, understanding that these boundaries that we set, thank you, beautiful. These boundaries that we set are not barriers, okay? We're not building walls. These boundaries that we set are the framework that allow us to continue on a regular basis, right? To show up for ourselves and for them effectively. So if I set boundaries, it is so I can continue to operate on a functional level, on a level that is going to benefit you as well as me, right? Because while I'm doing something to benefit you, it should not harm me. It should not hurt me. I should not have to sacrifice my joy, my happiness, my lifestyle in order to care for you. Because at that point, it doesn't make sense. So you've got to be willing to set boundaries, because it is truly, it's essential to protect your time and your energy. All right. So again, learning to say no, letting your no's be no's, right? Being able to tell people no effectively, to say, you know what, I just simply don't have the capacity for that today. Right? Y'all know capacity, my favorite word. Let's talk about, you know, how much of it I can hold. Well, I'm one person. And so there are days when I simply don't have the capacity to manage someone else because my cup is full of managing the things that I need today. Right? So I have to be able to tell people I simply just don't have the capacity to do that today. And if you continue to pile things on me, then things are going to begin to erupt or overflow. And that's when all of a sudden we start snapping on people. We're angry, we're frustrated because we have too much on us. Now, the help and the love and the care that we would normally provide all of a sudden becomes a burden. It becomes a weight that we have to carry. So now we start feeling guilty for wanting to take care of ourselves when taking care of ourselves should have been the priority all along. So it's important to make sure that we are prioritizing our self-care. And part of prioritizing our self-care is learning to set clear limits and respectfully saying no when necessary. Rich Risings, Winnie, hi, Ro. So again, setting boundaries is that first step, you guys. Next is prioritizing your needs. Prioritizing your self-care, right? Recognize and prioritize the activities and routines that sustain your well-being. This could mean dedicating time each day for exercise. It could mean engaging in habits or hobbies that bring you joy, or setting aside moments for simply relaxing and reflecting. By putting your needs first, you ensure that you now have the resources you need to show up and to support other people. So remember, you got to pour into yourself first. That's why we wake up each day, and I tell you guys to start your day with self-care and end your day with self-care, because you've got to fill your cup in the morning before you head out, and you got to replenish your cup so that way you can wake up more fulfilled come the next day, right? So make it a point to prioritize your needs. Maintenance Man, welcome in, bro. Rich Risings to you. Hey, Smoking Gemini, I see you. Loyal Alexander, I think I missed you, but hello. So how do we prioritize our needs, right? Well, let me teach y'all a very simple thing. We start to delegate. Hey, bro. We start to delegate. We start to share the responsibility, right? We always say it takes a village. And if we know that it takes a village, then why do we keep showing up trying to do it all by ourselves? Like, it makes no sense. So we've got to learn to delegate and share the responsibilities. There's no reason for you to carry the burden all by yourself. Sharing is caring, okay? Sharing the responsibilities with family, friends, and colleagues can help you to lighten your load, and it'll help you begin to foster a sense of teamwork and mutual support, right? We've got people around us. We've got people in our corner. We've got these support systems. We've got families who love us, right? Delegate. Take some of the weight off of you and give it to them. So Rowan's Hay says it's a control thing and a lack of trust from past experiences. You know, you're absolutely right. Past trauma definitely comes back when it comes to trying to hand things over or share responsibilities. But you've got to figure out what you can let go of. Otherwise, you're just going to keep burning the candle at both ends. So I fully understand that, yes, you know, us needing to be in control of everything is a trauma response. Because when we've handed things to people before, they've let us down. Right, sweetheart? Right, sunflower? They've let us down. You know, we've leaned on other people before, and you know what? They failed us. They've disappointed us, and it ended up coming back to our plate, and it was even harder because now it was, you know, it was delinquent. It was past due. It had been neglected, and now we had to spend extra time caring for it. But we've got to understand that every time is not like the last time. We've got to have that faith, right? Remember they say the faith, the size of the mustard seed, right? And y'all know those little seeds are short. Welcome in, H. Listen, we are never late in this space. We are always right on time. You have arrived right when you need to be. Our topic today, H, is finding balance, juggling self-care and the care that we provide for others. And so right now we've talked about setting boundaries. We've talked about prioritizing your needs. And right now we are discussing delegating and sharing responsibilities. And so, you know, the first and foremost, going back to your comment, Ro, she said that it's a control thing. It's a lack of trust from past experiences. And so even going back to that, we've got to at least begin with having a conversation with our loved ones, right? Because it is sometimes difficult to kind of hand things off to someone else. And so we start with having these open conversations. And sometimes it's leaving out of our, current comfort zone or our current social circle and tapping into new resources and new communities, right? And so you have to start to, I guess, get yourself to be more open-minded to say, you know what, just because someone else disappointed me doesn't mean that the next person is going to. Okay? So we've got to just, we've got to be open-minded. And it is a process. I'm not saying that you guys are going to be able to do it overnight or immediately, but you've got to start by having the conversations. And, you know, just like we have different friend groups, and I know everybody's familiar with this, right? Y'all got y'all's friends that you pray with and that you go to church with, right? To keep you on the straight and narrow path, you know, and help you with your spiritual journey. Then you got your little, you know, hood rat friends, or the friends that's fun to kick it with, right? That you take the trips with and you do this and that with, right? And then you've got your business focused friends who are about that money, and they're going to help you elevate, and, you know, they're going to help you start a business and things like that. So we have these different groups of friends. And sometimes the problem is we've delegated a task to the wrong set. We brought a task or we brought a problem to the wrong group. So if I'm over here and I'm talking about, starting a business and this, that, and the other with my little hood rat friends who just want to go to the club and kick it, they not really going to adequately be able to support me with where I'm going, because now I'm trying to be focused, right? So I just need to stop, reflect on who did I talk to? When did I talk to them, right? Because it could have just been your timing was off, right? It could have been, we got some red shades. It could have been, like I said, your timing was off when you presented it. It could have been the group of people that you presented it to. It could have just not honestly been the appropriate time, right? So that doesn't mean that we just throw in the towel and we go back to sacrificing our self-care. We just revisit who it is and, when it was that we explored this opportunity, and we try again, right? They always say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Dust yourself off and try again, Aaliyah told y'all. So again, it is still key for us to figure out ways to delegate and share the responsibilities, because we're not meant to carry the burden alone. We're not meant to bear the weight of the entire world on our shoulders by ourselves. So just remember that putting your needs first is key to living a happier and more purpose-filled life. And so we also talk about practicing mindfulness. We know that mindfulness helps us to stay present and to be more attuned to our own needs, right? So the activities that we attempt to do to ground us and to bring us back into the present. Thank you for the follow, Nee. These activities help to ground us and bring us back to the present. Those things, these mindful exercises and activities, stop us from being so focused on the future or being stuck in the past. But it helps us to be right in this moment as it is right now. And so, mindfulness encourages thoughtful responses rather than reactive behavior. I'm very big on trying my best to respond in situations rather than react, right? So, someone throws something on your plate or someone says something to you that you deem to be disrespectful, something, right? Something happens. You're in a situation. You've got to pause. You've got to take a moment to breathe, right? You get a nasty text message, right, Blue? Right, pretty? Somebody message you some foul, message, and you like, for real? We be at work and them emails come out, and the first thing that y'all want to do is say, that keyboard get to clicking, and you like, first of all, as per my last email, right? We get real smart. We get real snippy. Well, that's a reaction, right? You're reacting to what they said. Now you're being all emotional, right? You want to respond. So at work, when I used to work in corporate America, and I would get these IMs all the time, and it would be like the stupidest comments or things that they could do themselves, right? I would purposely wait 5 to 10 minutes. And honestly, y'all, the dumber it was, the longer I waited. So if it was just semi-simple, right, I would just wait 5 minutes. Because I learned that when people come to you and they ask you for things, sometimes what you need to do is not go do it for them, but empower them to do it themselves. So, I am the go-to person for a lot of things. And so people would send me IMs or text messages, and they would ask me things that Google could very easily answer. And I love the fact that they recognize that that's, my wheelhouse. But at the same time, respect my time. Like, don't just be, messaging me because you don't want to look something up or you don't want to get up and go do something. You know what I mean? So I learned to give people a little bit of a pause. And that was a form of self-care for me, to be able to set a boundary. Plus, I didn't want to react. I didn't want to clap back on everyone. I started to have the angry black woman complex at work because I felt like I was snapping on everybody all the time. And so I had to start to pause. And one of the things, like I said, that I did was implementing a 5 to 10 minute period before I would respond to a message. And usually within that 5 to 10 minute window, they're like, oh, never mind, I found it. Yeah, I know. Because a lot of times it's just scrolling back through the messages when you asked me last week. My answer is the same as it was when you asked me last week. You know? So again, that's just a form of mindfulness to say, okay, let me, especially when I'm about to say first of all, right, coach? Right? When you about to get real snappy with them and be like, first of all. When you feel like your hands fitting to get to clapping, you just gotta pause for a second. Good morning, beautiful. You just gotta pause for a second and say, you know what? Let me take a moment to respond. We don't say let me take a moment to react. No, because when somebody does something, we just say something right back. That's reaction. But if I say, you know what? Let me take a moment to respond to this. Most of the time we can kind of de-escalate the situation and we can, give the response that's needed versus the reaction that is just going to make matters worse. Rich Risings, Lisette, welcome in, love. Hi, introvert. Hi, Kate. And then the last one would be seek support. Seek support. Now, I don't know why my friends, y'all my friends, all of y'all, I don't know why all you good, fine folks are nervous to seek support. But y'all, we're going to have to get help. We can't get this healing by ourselves. And for whatever reason, I blame the ancestors, y'all. Because the ancestors raised us to believe that what happens in our house stays in our house. And I can understand, as a homeowner myself, that there is just some business that you don't want out in the streets, right? My finances is not your business. Or, who I sleep with is not your business. But there are a lot of things that have taken place in our houses that we need to talk about. But because we were raised up in this generation and our lovely, lovely ancestors got it twisted to teach us that what happens in our house stays in our house, many of us are afraid to now seek the support that we need to break free from these past traumas, from these chains that hold us back. And so we're still now teaching our children what happens in our house stays in this house, and no one's getting help. There's no healing that's taking place. There's no growth. We're staying stagnant. We're keeping secrets, right? We're enabling a pattern of bad behavior because we've not talked about it. And in a lot of these households, especially when we think of people who have been molested, for example, the aggressor has sadly done this to multiple members of our families. And when you get into those kind of situations, if maybe we had talked about what happened in our house a little sooner, it wouldn't have happened to so many people in our house. If we could have gotten the help and the healing then, maybe some of us wouldn't be 40 and 50 years old still trying to unpack past trauma, past hurt, past pain. So it is very important. Probably one of the most important things that you can do for you is to seek support. Get help. There are therapists, there are support groups, there are life coaches that are here ready and willing to help you unpack things. The days of, what happens in my house stays in my house. Listen, that has to be over. We really have to let that go, right? We've got to learn the difference between privacy and transparency. And if there is an experience that has happened in my life that has, haunted me for years and that's causing me pain, I deserve to be transparent, to say, you know what, this hurt me, this bothered me, this affected me. I deserve to be transparent and to have the opportunity to speak my truth. Okay? So if it's a situation that occurred to me, I should be able to speak my truth. And why am I protecting who hurt me? So we need to be able to let it go, let it out. And the only way that we are truly going to be able to heal is if we start talking about these things. And I'm not saying that y'all got to climb to the highest mountaintop, or I'm not saying that y'all got to log in and out your uncle and out your cousin and put everybody's business out there like that. I'm saying you have to get that off of you. And you've got to be able to open up and to say, you know what, this hurt me, this bothered me, because if not, it's going to continuously rear its head. So now, you're going to find that you're not going to be able to adequately love going forward. You're going to have a hard time in your love life. You're going to have different things that hold you back. And so you're going to forever be living a loop of trauma, right? So B60 Mama says, yes, get support and heal. And she says that I agree. If it's hurting you, expose it. Exactly. Why am I the only one? Why are we the only ones that are uncomfortable? No, listen, you make me uncomfortable, baby. We all uncomfortable. And I'm not saying that I want to be a hurt person that hurts people. I want to be a hurt person who heals. Right? I want to be a hurt person who heals and is now healing people. And so me speaking my truth sometimes is the help and the blessing that it'll take to help heal someone else. So it is important for us to seek support. And I tell you guys all the time, do not hesitate to seek support from your friends, from your family. And you know what? If your friends and your family aren't doing it right, let's get you some paid support, right? Go to your therapist. Y'all, your therapist is the best friend you ain't never know you needed. Because your therapist, honey, you talking about a steel trap. You talking about being able to go somewhere and say whatever it is you want to say, however you want to say it. And to not be judged. And to know that secret, that thing can't leave that room. Because, us in this mental health business, we value our jobs. We like our jobs. We don't go into these mental health fields because of the pay. No, we do this because we like our jobs. Something is genuinely put on us to want to help other people heal, right? And so when people come to me and I have my clients and they confide in me, as a life coach, I'm still bound by these same rules that therapists are. Right? So what happens in this session stays in this session. Right? So when people bring their burdens to me, I'm like, cool, lay it down. Put it down. I got you. No worries. See, I know where to dispose of that thing, so it ain't going to bother me. Right? It's kind of like when we take it to the altar. But the problem is many of us take something somewhere and then we pick it back up on the way out. No. We need to start having these conversations, talking to your therapist, talking to your life coach, joining support groups and having these conversations, and we need to leave it there. Leave it there and leave it to the experts to dispose of it, because listen, I know how to let that thing go. Y'all, I don't even hold on to my own shit, so I'm definitely not holding on to yours. That's what therapists and coaches are trained to do. Right? Lay it down and let it go, Michaela said. Welcome in, Wanda girl. Reborn baby mama, welcome in. Y'all listen. The babies that reborn baby mama makes look way real. I don't know if y'all have ever seen those newborn or those real babies, but honey, I was in her live the other night and I was like, that little boy real? It was the craziest thing, y'all. But I'm like, that little baby real? I was like, hold on now. Listen, and she makes them. That's a talent. I would like to think that that is a form of her self-care, because that is a talent. Sorry, off topic, y'all, but my girl walked in and I had to say hi. But yeah, you guys, don't hesitate to seek support. And like I said, if your current circles with like your friends and your family, you know what? Sometimes they're just not equipped to do what you need. All right. And so you gotta step outside of that. You've got to go to the groups that are specific for that. Right. We have an entire self-care club where we come together and support one another. Right. Thank you so much, Wanda. We have a whole support network where we come together to support one another, to help one another. If someone's having a rough time, listen, they'll bring it to the group. Sometimes they just bring it to me, and I encourage them to take it to the group, right? Because there's strength in numbers. Like I said, tap into resources. For those of you who are working and you have insurance through your job, a lot of employers have this thing called EAP. It's an employee assistance program. Okay? And a lot of times with these EAP resources, you get free therapy. It's like sometimes 6 to 10 sessions, depending upon your employer. And you can go tap in with a life coach, with a therapist. Free of charge. Let your job pay for it. Because hell, they the ones stressing you out anyway. Y'all paying all this money for insurance, but you're not using the benefits. Y'all have behavioral health benefits. You have mental health benefits. Guess what? You get mental health days at work. And when you request this time off, it ain't nobody's business why. You don't have to tell them, y'all getting on my nerves. I need a mental health break. You know what? You're at work. You're in school and you happen to be stressed in a moment, there's no harm in going to your supervisor, going to your instructor to say, I need a mental health break. I need a moment. Don't abuse it, but just tell them, hey, you know what? I need a moment for me. I need to pause because right now I'm overwhelmed. Right now, my anxiety is mounting. The depression is creeping in. I'm neglecting myself. I'm stressed. I'm overworked. Talk about it. We have to start talking about our challenges, and we've got to start, being open to receiving guidance, because that guidance and these conversations that we have about it can start to provide us with relief and help us find more practical solutions, long-term solutions, right? So support networks are an invaluable tool in maintaining balance and resilience, all right? Because again, we're on this journey to holistically heal. I don't want to heal one thing. I don't want to heal a piece. I want a full healing, right? I want to be made over, y'all. I want to be renewed. I want to feel refreshed. I want to be revived, right? It's the refill that Elle Varner sang about. Y'all, I'm like, can I get a refill? I want to refill my cup. And so I'm over here on that journey, just like she was in that song when she asked y'all for the refill. Honey, that song was about self-care for me. I want a refill. I need a do-over. I need a restart, a refresh, a revive, a renew, a re. That's what I want, y'all. Okay? And in order for us to do that, we absolutely have to set these boundaries. Prioritize our needs first. Put the mask on us first. Right, Muhammad? We've got to prioritize our needs. We've got to delegate and start to share the responsibility with others. And we have to practice mindfulness. Okay? We've got to practice mindfulness. We have to stay present, stay attuned in this moment. Thank you, Wanda girl. Prioritizing our needs in addition to the needs of those around us. So yeah, we've got to understand that this relationship between our care and the care that we wish to provide for others, it's symbiotic, right? It's a symbiotic relationship. So self-care and the care that you provide for others are not mutually exclusive. It's not one or the other. Okay, these things are deeply interconnected. So by taking care of ourselves, we enhance the capacity to care for others, right? So the more time I spend caring for myself and pouring into myself, the bigger my cup gets, which means I now have more capacity to care for those around me. So, similarly, when we think about the fulfillment derived from helping others, that can help enrich our own well-being. So, when we explore self-care, not only do I tell you guys to prioritize your needs, to focus on you, I also tell you to give back. You got to pay it forward, right? So we do have to tap in with other people and to be willing to connect with others and be helpful to others. Michaela says, love others as you love yourself. You have love for yourself first before you can love others. Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. And so, like I said, by taking care of ourselves, we enhance our capacity to care for others. When we think about that, this is the symbiotic relationship that underscores the importance of finding and maintaining balance. Finding and maintaining balance. Okay? So we look for harmony, right? We look for this balance, Jeff. So we've got to, understand that achieving balance between self-care and caring for others is going to be a continuous journey. A journey that we have to continue to show up every single day and do it over and over again. I got to fill my cup up so my cup can overflow so I can be a blessing to others. Tomorrow, guess what? Hey, Joan, tomorrow I got to wake up. I got to fill my cup up so it'll overflow so I can be a blessing to others. Donna, tomorrow, the next day, next week, I got to wake up. I got to fill my cup up so it can overflow so I can now be a blessing to others. So this journey demands self-awareness. Thank you, Joan. It demands self-awareness, flexibility, and it's a commitment to both personal and communal well-being. By embracing this balance, it allows us to lead a richer and more fulfilling life. It gives us the opportunity, thank you, it gives us the opportunity to be more compassionate and more supportive in the world, okay? So again, I encourage each and every one of you to prioritize your self-care. First and foremost, prioritize your self-care. Put the mask on you first. Fill your cup up first. You've got to prioritize your needs above the needs of everyone else. And when I say everyone, I'm even talking about babies and animals, y'all. Okay? You have to put your needs first. Think about like new moms. They've got these babies. Their bodies are healing. Their bodies are changing yet again, right? But moms must, first and foremost, prioritize their needs so that way they're not fatigued, so they can get up, so they can take care of their babies, right? Moms who breastfeed, that stress, that sleep deprivation starts to mess with their body producing milk for the baby. So there's a lot of things that we have to make sure that we are prioritizing so that way we can continue to show up for our loved ones. Thick Fit, Shan, welcome in, beautiful. Jamal, I see you. Jeff, I see you. So make sure that you're taking the time to fill your cup up. Like, I can't tell you guys enough. It is impossible for you to pour from an empty cup. It is absolutely impossible for you to pour from an empty cup. You don't get something from nothing. So, every single day, you have to commit to yourself that I'm going to wake up and I'm going to start my day with self-care. I am going to start my day with positivity. I am going to wake up every single day and I am going to pour my cup first. I'm going to fill my cup first. So it means you wake up. It means you tap into your spiritual self-care. You tell the universe what you're thankful and grateful for, right? It means that you wake up and maybe you drink water first in the morning. Or you get up and you go spend a little time in nature, right? You go walk outside to the backyard and plant your feet in the grass and get a little grounding in the morning. Or you wake up and you say, you know what, before I get these kids off to school and before I go make my husband's lunch, let me drink the first cup of coffee. I'm gonna fill the pot, but let me have the first cup of coffee by myself. Right? Let me turn this little podcast on. Let me listen to this little TED Talk speech. Let me log in with Life Coach in the morning and get a little positivity on purpose, right? So I'm going to do this for me. And as I spend more time filling my cup up in the morning, it allows me to let that cup overflow. So as the rest of this house start to wake up, and I done already been up on one, right? Now all of a sudden that cup is overflowing, so everybody else can come like Tiny Tim and tell me, more porridge, please. Sure, no problem. It's on the stove. Right? I set the table, I made y'all plates at the beginning, but if you need more porridge, you're going to have to go get it out the pot. Right? Because now I'm going to empower you to do it. I cooked the food, I set the table, I served your initial meal, but now if you need more, go get it out the pot. There's extra there. And while you're at it, don't leave your dishes on the table. Because I'm going to wash them. I'm going to clean up afterwards. But, take your dishes, scrape your trash into the trash can, right? Put it in the bin. Rinse your plate off. Let me really get you. Let me empower you, for those of you who have a dishwasher. Instead of teaching the kids to scrape the plate and just put it in the sink, teach them the extra step. Teach them to scrape the plate, and before they put it in the sink, let's skip the sink. Let's rinse it off, and let's just go ahead and put it in the dishwasher. I'll rearrange the dishwasher because I know ain't nobody going to put the dishes in there the way I want them in there. For some reason, they don't grasp that concept, right? But let me help them to help me. That's how we start to delegate. That's how we start to lighten our burden, right? That's how we maintain this balance. But again, I encourage each and every one of you every single day to begin self-care for yourself. And at the end of every day, end with self-care for yourself. And self-care looks different for each and every one of us. So I can't tell you what to do for you. Now, if you book a session with me, I can learn some things about you and I can help you find the things that you need to do for you. But understand that what I wake up and do in the morning may not serve you, may not bless you, because that's for me. But because I wake up and I'm intentionally heavy on my self-care, I can keep showing up every day with these tips, right? Serving you guys 1 hour of suggested, tips and tools for you to then, continue to grow through all the things that you're going through. So every single day, prioritize filling your cup. Fill your cup so much that it overflows. So that way you can continue to show up and be a blessing for all of those that you care about and for all the people that you love. So that's what I got for y'all. Find y'all's balance. And, and understand that juggling our self-care and the care that we have for others is not as hard as it seems. All right, you guys, it's not as hard as it seems. It starts with a conversation. Go to your loved ones to say, I'm overworked. I'm stressed out. I'm feeling a little depressed. My needs are a little deprived. Just start having those conversations with people. And, sometimes they'll automatically volunteer. Hey, no problem. I'll do the laundry. Hey, don't worry about it, hon. Go lay down. I'll take the kids. I'll pick up a pizza. You don't need to cook tonight. Right? You got to start having these conversations to let people know I'm burnt out. My cup is empty, and I need a little time to fill it up. I can fill it up. I just need a little time to do so. So choose you, prioritize your self-care, and, just understand that you can't pour from an empty cup. Like, I can't stress that enough, you guys. We cannot pour from an empty cup, lovey. It doesn't happen. All right? Does anyone have any questions as we wrap up for today? Questions, comments? Welcome in, Marquita. And I see a lot of new faces. If we are not friends yet, make sure you guys give me a follow. Thank you. Thank you, Michaela. Listen, bro, we all need these reminders. Hell, I needed these reminders. I'm telling y'all, I be coaching the coach, y'all. I be coaching the coach. And it's like a double dose. I always tell people when I create my notes for the conversation, I then, it's like, okay, cool. I'm grabbing my books and I'm getting little tips from here and little tools from here and, things like that. And I get my notes together for you guys. And then when I come deliver that message, like when I actually say it out loud, I be over here like, who knew? I be having my own little epiphanies over here, right? So, I mean, again, we all need it. And, sometimes we got to check ourselves. There's a lot of times where I have to get out of my own way. And I do so in the messages that I choose to share with you guys. Thank you so much. So DJ Jeff says, I subscribe to you on YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'll definitely grab you back. Welcome in, Papa Smurf. Brandy, welcome in. All right, so it looks like we can go ahead and wrap up today, you guys. For those of you who are seeking the homework, or for those of you who don't even know about the homework, every day, once our live stream ends, our notes for the daily session are uploaded to selfcareclub.org. There is a section there called Nurturing You, which is our homework section. And you guys can always go there to pull up the notes from the session. So if you ever need to go back to, let's say, something that I said during the session, or you want to share a tip, if something resonates with you or you think that it might resonate with someone else, you can go in there and share the blog, to them. You can post the blog on your social media. Remember, we first poured our cup and filled our cup. Hey, Yogi. We first filled our cup by you guys being here today, listening through the session. But then let's let that cup overflow. So go share the blogs, right? Go over to YouTube and share the replays. If you missed part of the session, or you were in or out, or you just need to hear it again, you can go back and watch the replay. So those are, two resources that I definitely have out there available for you guys all the time. But I do want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Your presence, as well as the gifts that you guys have shared, really, truly mean a lot to me. All of the support and engagement that you guys provide during the live stream directly benefits the Self-Care Club LLC, enabling us to keep showing up every day, making a positive impact within the community. Your generosity truly fuels our mission. If anyone, thank you, if anyone has any stories you would like to share, or any questions, or even suggested content that you would like to see incorporated here during our self-care sessions, I encourage you to please reach out. You can find all the additional information that you're looking for, or if you want to book a personalized one-on-one life coaching session with me, I encourage you to visit theselfcareclub.org for more details. I do hope to see each and every one of you here again during our next live coaching session. We do meet weekdays, so Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are moving towards starting promptly. So for all my friends who are in CPT time, we start at 8:30. Just keep looking for me at 8:30. But at 9 a.m. promptly, for all of you who have alerts and reminders and value prioritizing other people's time, we start at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. And until the next time, I hope that each and every one of you prioritize your self-care. Just take care and embrace the wonderful, unique person that you are. Keep going out there and spreading positivity on purpose, with a purpose. All right? I will see you guys on Monday. Thank you so much. I hope that you guys have an amazing day.